I'm not lazy. I've been very busy.
I know you've been very busy. It's been awesome.
It's nonstop. I just want to sleep. I just want to take a nap.
That's what happens. Theme parks are just full of announcements and stuff. Wait, you recorded?
Hello and welcome to the ParkStop podcast, episode 59. My name is Alicia Stella. With me, as always, is my co-host Ian.
Hey, kids. Did I mention I have whiskey?
Today, we are answering your Epic Universe questions.
It's Telluride. DEW. Do, just in case anybody was curious.
The whiskey is?
Yeah, it's my whiskey today.
I thought this would be fun. There should be new details revealed in January 2024, which is just a couple weeks away from right now. Not when they're actually going to reveal it. It's probably later in the month. But what I'm saying is we're very close to 2024, and we're finally going to get new concept art, new information, official declarations of details.
Mm-hmm. And y'all just crazy when we post these things up. Well, when Alicia asks for questions.
Oh my God. Yeah, we haven't done a listener question one that isn't Patreon in a long time. So I was not expecting 200 questions on Twitter.
Y'all came through. You did not let anybody down. So thanks for asking if you did. We tried to kind of group them.
Yeah,
so we could get to everybody.
We'll start with the most frequently asked questions, and I kind of either took representatives or the first one I saw that seemed like the same thing, and then most of these are like written as written, but some of them I might have reworded to just. So yeah, I won't be saying who asked what question because these are aggregated versions of the exact same question. I think 30 people asked the first question.
Only 30? That's it?
Well, yeah, and then 20 people asked the next one, and then, oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, the third question, 40 people asked the third question. I'm kidding you not, that it was the most asked question.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to try to keep this under an hour. We've shortened 230 questions to 40 questions. Let's see how it goes.
It's not going to go in under an hour. We tangent too often. Well, yeah, and I was allowing myself to go on tangents, like if this reminds me of things, because I'm trying to talk about things we haven't talked about before. But unfortunately, the most frequently asked questions are things that people have asked before. That's fine, though.
We'll zoom through them. Do you want me to start? I'll start.
You start. I start. You go. I go. You go.
I'm reading the questions now. Will we see a preview center at Universal Orlando? How soon do you expect Universal to release new official concept art and official info or announcements? See, like January,
like Legacy Store, right?
And the Legacy Store will be a preview center if everything goes according to plan in June 2024.
I like the Legacy Store, but it's still pretty cool.
It's nice that it's in City Walk because, like, when they did the IOA Preview Center, there was only one theme park, so you just stick it in the theme park. Now there's two theme parks. The Legacy Store is in between them.
I like it. When do you think the park will open? Soft open, or have TM/annual pass previews?
The park will open in 2025. I do not know if it'll soft open, but it'll definitely have team member previews. Hopefully early in 2025, and it'll definitely, I'm staking my claim on it, it'll definitely have annual pass previews.
I was going to say it'll at least likely, if not definitely.
It'll have some sort of annual pass previews before it opens. When will it open? When it's ready. 2025.
It's going pretty fast.
They're sticking with summer 2025 as the official grand opening, but, I don't foresee soft open.
We're all going to melt. Standing in line.
I think they would just probably keep doing it as previews, but we'll see. Will there be... Oh, here's the question.
Yep, here's the question.
Will there be some sort of transportation between the old parks and Epic Universe?
Nope, you gotta walk. I like my favorite sarcastic answer was you can ride a broom, but the people on the bus and the bus driver might get a little annoyed with you.
The answer is shuttle buses. They've already answered it. If you look at the official information for the Universal Stella Nova Resort and Universal Terra Luna Resort, it says that there will be free shuttle transportation to and from the existing theme parks from the new hotels, because that's what they're going to do.
Pay no attention to the magic bus lanes they're building, right?
The magic bus, like the dedicated bus lanes on the extended Kirkman Road up and down, connecting the two resorts. They're putting in like a giant bus depot right behind Terra Luna.
Perfect.
So they have like they can park the buses when they don't need as many, and then like mornings and evenings they can bring out all the buses.
That's perfect.
So there'll be buses to and from the city walk and the new park. There'll be buses from all of the resorts to the new park, and there'll be buses from all the new hotels to the old parks. Like just buses everywhere.
Magic buses.
Well, there was a Blue Sky idea to
Uh-huh.
do a night bus that would take you like the 2.5 miles from one resort to the other. And even in that Blue Sky concept, they had magical screens, I mean, windows that would show you having like going through Wizarding World stuff. But there's no way they're doing that. Although, like, I was thinking about it, I was like, I guess they could design buses that look like the night bus.
They could.
But the best I bet you could see is like the normal Mears buses or whatever they use, like with a wrap on it. Because if you're gonna do it, like the licensing for Harry Potter is so strong, it would have to be so screen accurate. It would be so expensive for like the fleet of hundreds of buses. There's no way.
No. I'm also curious as to how stable a 3-story bus is.
Well, you make the story smaller as it goes, and it's not actually anything but a regular bus.
Get out of here. That's not accurate.
Which is why they won't do it.
Any new info on whether or not the hub will be open to the public with the park portals needing a ticket to enter? Universal had mentioned leaning into the convention business, which hints to partial day / alternative ticketing.
Yeah, that's actually two different questions. I put them next to each other because I'm like, there's already after hours ticketing for convention goers / businesses for the existing parks. Like it's happening now and no one notices. So I don't think that's something we will notice as regular guests. As far as Open Hub goes, as we've discussed in recent months, I think the current plan might be to allow non-theme park ticketed guests into the hub area beginning at 6 p.m. And that's probably when the rides would close and the lands would kick everyone out anyway. So you can, whether you were at the theme park all day or whether you just show up at 6, I think you can go and do a little shopping and dining and watch the nighttime show. And that is the current plan.
I mean, with the facial recognition thing too, it seems like it's pretty fast to get in and out. So if you have a ticket, it shouldn't be a problem that way anyway.
And yes, if the lands are still open past 6, like if the lands stay open till 8 and the center hub, the Celestial Park, is open till 11, then for those 2 hours or whatever, if you go into one of the lands, it'll check your face and make sure you're allowed in there.
Perfect.
No big deal. But like the way it's set up, though, if the park closes that early, then they don't even need to have the stanchions up and be checking people's faces. So is the open hub idea is real? Sorta, maybe, but only after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Did we answer that? I think we answered that.
Answered that. You're next.
There's more complicated, convoluted answers to that, but I think what some people are asking is, will there be a la carte tickets to different lands? And I think the answer is no, because no one would buy anything but Nintendo, and it would be bad business. So you want to go into one of the lands, buy a ticket to all the lands. Those are your only options.
Well, I would buy tickets to just Monsters if it was cheaper.
Where you'd be the only one because everyone else is going to go to the one they want to and no one's going to want to go to Monsters but you.
Everyone wants to. That's fine with me, actually. Don't go to Monsters. Stay out of my land. That's fine with me. Please don't go.
Not there's anything wrong with Monsters. It's just that
I just want to be by myself.
Families are there for Mario. Let's be real.
They can stay in Mario and I will stay in Monsters and we won't cross each other's little lines. We're good.
I think we just answered a question for later.
Okay.
I'm curious as to how the rides in the central hub will function when the hub opens for night guests. Oh, look, that ties into it too.
Oh, yeah. Facial recognition with a ticket.
If all of the rides and lands are closed and the hub is still open, then I guess it doesn't matter. But the 2 rides in the hub also have their own facial recognition portals. So it would act the same way as the portals do.
Yeah, so it's the same answer, basically. But it's a good question. Okay, I remember hearing Epic Universe will have an area resembling City Walk outside the park. Is that true or am I mistaken? Yes and no.
I mean, maybe someday, but I think that they're trying to make Celestial Park the City Walk.
But also the park.
It's like its own place. It's not City Walk, it's Celestial Park. It kind of sounds the same, right?
And as
That's
we
it.
discovered, it's basically Main Street, but you, instead of the archways just walking through, you have facial recognition to get into the lands.
Well, it acts the same way. The reason City Walk
Hmm.
works at the current places is because the parks close early enough that it forces you to have dinner in City Walk on your way out. You're like, I'm walking to my car and it's like, oh, I'm hungry now. Oh, look, there's a cowfish. I guess I'll eat here. And this is going to be the same way where it's like all the lands close or all the restaurants in the lands close before dinner time. All of a sudden, now you're stuck in the hub with nowhere to go and you were hungry and you don't want to walk to your car. So, same thing. It's like City Walk, but
Yeah.
it's Celestial Park.
It's just the hub. It's just the hub center. It's like it's more like Main Street to me than it's like a mix of the two.
There's more to meets the eye about Celestial Park.
Oh,
There's
I
more
know.
entertainment than we think, and
I
there's
know.
no rides in the hub or Main Street at our Kingdom
Nope.
Park anyway.
Not at our kingdom. No.
I'm still curious about pricing and offers to current annual pass holders. How and when will pass holders be able to upgrade their passes to include Epic Universe?
Oh boy, we talked about this kind of recently, didn't we?
It was on a premium show, I think.
Yep.
It
I
was on
think
a
so too.
Patreon show. So the rest of you may want to sit down for this.
Oh yeah. I was happy to be sitting. I'm gonna drink more just because I'm gonna have to hear it again.
I have bad news. The rumor is they may not offer upgrades to annual passes when the park first opens. Now, as we said earlier, there will be annual pass previews. You get a free preview of Epic Universe. But I hope that satiates you and lasts and is entertaining enough for you to wait weeks, months, because no annual pass upgrades will be allowed until they feel that capacity is managed, which means if you want to go to Epic Universe, you probably have to buy a day ticket. And the reason they're doing that is because day tickets require a date to be selected. And if you select a date, it's essentially making a park reservation. So they're giving us backdoor park reservations, I think.
Sneaky.
Because they want to know exactly how many people will be in the park every day for at least the first few weeks to make sure they don't hit capacity and they'll just run out of tickets. If they had annual pass holders and people like me show up every single day with our annual pass, you can't count and predict and know how many day tickets to even sell. And then you'll start turning away people who already bought a reserved date ticket. So I don't know. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 3 months. It could be more than that. But when they feel that capacity is managed and they're not worried about the park filling up every single day, then they'll allow us to upgrade our annual passes. So I'd say still have your annual pass so you get that free preview.
Yes.
These are all rumors, by the way.
And maybe
none of this is confirmed.
Maybe we get a day pass discount. Maybe.
Probably.
Which should
maybe
be nice. Maybe.
No, I have it written down. No ticket discounts. I have it written down right in front of me.
They gotta make that money while they can. Of course not.
And tickets are going to go on sale at the end of next summer, I think. So date-based tickets are going to fill up for those first few weeks.
We're all just gonna be hoping for annual pass previews. That's what we're gonna hope for.
Well, yeah, that's still going to happen. But if you want to go on opening day, you better buy your ticket as soon as they go on sale.
Mm-hmm. This is one question is 3.
Yeah, it's the same question 3 times, so go for it.
How many of the rides can we expect to have Express Pass when opening? Do you think Express will be offered from jump or held back until things, quote unquote, die down? Mm-hmm. Will Grand Helios get added to the included Express Passes system for the deluxe hotels? Will Epic Universe be included in the included Express system? That's a lot of questions.
All asking the same thing, and the answer is... The long answer is they built express lines for every ride. We've seen them in the plans and the permits. There's definitely express lines. However, it may be a year before they open them. It may be, managing capacity and trying to figure out, especially with a new ride, Hagrid still doesn't have express. Nope. And Velocicoaster is still getting used to having express since they added it a few months back. So it could be a while until they manage and figure out capacity and know exactly how it's going to work before they start offering express at this park. And because of that, Helios probably won't have express included. But when Epic Universe starts offering express lines, I'm guessing or hoping that Helios would be part of the included express tier because now you've opened up a whole third park worth of express pass lines. That's my
You don't
hope anyway.
you don't think that just because it's deluxe that you could get express for the other two parks if you
I
stay
don't think
there?
so because there's not enough. Like you can't add like that 500 more rooms full of people's worth of free express without adding more capacity, or you're going to eat into your express sales. Like
Hmm.
they'd have to decrease the number of express tickets they could sell if they gave away all that more free express. So
Yep.
when the new rides open with express finally after a year or whatever, then maybe Helios can offer free express. Maybe. That's my theory.
It's okay. I'll be in the bar drinking no matter what.
But I would definitely not expect express at opening. There's no way. They're already going to be dealing with like their crowds, breakdowns, problems, long lines. They don't need to add
No.
complications on top of that.
No. Breakdowns on a new park? That never happens.
When Disneyland opened in 1955, nothing worked.
Nope. Not even the asphalt.
Yeah, but John, when Monsters Unchained breaks down, the monsters don't eat the tourists.
They might.
Next question. What expansions will the park have after the Great Hall, including the large expansions and each of the individual land expansions?
Yo, man, I'm making it happen. I want it to happen.
That
Give
is
me
the first
boat.
one we talked about that a year before they announced
I
this park.
know. I
How
know.
crazy is that?
I'm just baffled at how long we've been talking about this park. Um,
Since 2018.
It's not even open, and we've been talking about it for years.
We've been talking about it a year before they announced it. So
Mm.
2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Or 6 years we've been talking about it, and we still got another year and a half to go.
Wow. Yeah, Gilman, please. Please? Pretty please?
I have a theory.
Uh-huh.
I have a theory that the Great Hall, the dinner theater type thing upcharge in Wizarding World opens 2026. I have a
Mhm.
theory that Super Nintendo World gets the next expansion after that,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be Luigi's Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And Luigi's Mansion will be its own mini land like Donkey Kong is.
Okay. You didn't say Gilman.
I didn't. I said
I'm
Luigi's
still
Mansion with its
I'm still
own
waiting.
main, like e-ticket style ride, a flat ride, and a dining location. It's a full-on mini land.
That's cool and all, but you still didn't say Gilman, so I'm just waiting for you to say it.
Supposedly that's still on the table and still happening.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I do see that they are putting down some kind of gravel or something in the back of house expansion behind the
Mhm.
Windmill restaurant. And that might be for staging for the expansion spot.
Yes, please.
Like that, or it just could be executive parking lot. It's
It
probably
could
just
be.
executive parking lot, or it could be both. It could be used as a parking lot and then later like a staging area for the expansion.
Oh, just give me my Gilman boat ride, please.
Well, as far as the other lands, though, there is still a large expansion for a ride or an attraction at Potter, and there is still an expansion spot in Dragons. I have not heard anything about Dragons and whether or not it's going to get something in that expansion. We shall see. I think they're going to use the little executive parking lot in the corner of that for like dragon-shaped drones to lift off at.
That's cool.
So like that expansion plot's mainly just going to be used for drone launches, I think. We shall see.
Chances they ever get their hands on the Lord of the Rings franchise. How did I end up being the one to read that one?
Jar. If
Big time jar.
do I have a here? Did you
Here
hear
you
it?
go. Mm-hmm, I heard it. Jar.
I have a bunch of Flynn's arcade
That
tokens
joke
here.
has been running almost as long as this podcast has been running. Whoa, whoa. Okay, Flynn, settle down.
If things had gone to plan, I would have posted a video earlier this week that talks about where I think the Lord of the Rings franchise can go at a Universal Park.
In England.
Wait, I said if.
Oh.
I don't know. I could have like chickened out and not posted the video for all I know.
I was just guessing a country because it's not going to be here.
Well, I have a theory.
Oh yeah, what's your theory of
This
your
is-
theory of your
This
theory?
is a 20-year
Of the
plan.
theory.
Maybe the Lord of the Rings goes to a UK park first, and then 5 years later they build it here at Epic Universe as an expansion. That way, it's an exclusive thing there, and then we get a clone of it.
Just to make sure it's popular in UK.
Uh, I don't. I don't know. Like, we got a little Beijing hand me down. Like, why
We
not
did. We
Lord of the
did.
Rings? That was all the frequently asked questions. Those were all multiple questions. Like, people asked that. So now I'm moving on to exclusively YouTube people questions. Right? Yes.
Yes. Yes. It's your turn.
We're doing terrible on time. I love it.
I love it too. It's so us. It's so us.
Do
Sorry.
you guys think Spielberg had any part in Epic or any of the other recent additions to the parks? If not, when do you think was the last time he had any tangible advisory duties? That's from David Seymour. The channel is David Seymour Official. You all should
Awesome.
subscribe. Very good cooking programs. David, I liked your question, even though no one else asked it, because
It's a good question.
the answer is strange. I don't think he's helped. But he still gets his percentage
Yes, he does.
every single year, and that includes Epic Universe. I don't know if it's all Universal parks or just Orlando. It might just be Orlando, but I do know that when Epic Universe opens, he gets 5% of
That's
the
5%.
door forever, and that's astonishing because I doubt he had anything to do with it.
What's more astonishing is you could live off that and he wouldn't have to have any other job.
Anyway, good for him, though. What a great deal he made in 1990. What a great deal.
Does he even still have an office on the Universal grounds?
No, yeah, his Amblin studio now has a partnership with Universal again, so they're tight since they dropped DreamWorks.
That's good. Oh, that was a really good question, actually. What ride do you think will be the most popular, have the longest wait time when Epic Universe opens? It's obviously Monsters.
No, it's what?
Of course not.
I honestly think it's Mario Kart.
It's definitely Mario Kart.
I think it's counterintuitive to like super theme park fans because we're like, yeah, but this is like the third one being built. Like no one should care by then. But no, this is going to be incredibly popular, and it's where everyone's going to run to with families first, and it's probably going to have a long line always.
Of course. It might be like theme park fans might be kind of half over it, but all the people that come to Orlando that only come to Orlando are going to flip out. So,
oh yeah, I think us theme park fans are going to run to the dark rides at Monsters and Potter, but everyone else is going straight to Mario Kart.
Listen, just stay out of Monsters. It's going to be boring. I'm going to be in there. You don't want to hang out with me, please.
Wait until we talk about the ride after this for the Patreon show. Oh my God.
Don't get me excited already. We still have like 50 questions to go.
Anyway, we started with only 44. It's impossible to have 50 left.
It is not because we go on tangents. All right.
When and where will there be a Pokemon ride or a land? I was supposed to put a video out about this last week, but I got distracted by other news. I will tell you that the first Pokemon ride is replacing Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios Japan. And that the next Pokemon ride or land is not coming to Epic Universe, but it will be in Orlando. I mean, we know it's not coming to Kid Zone. They built DreamWorks there instead.
I was going to say, is it going where Zelda's not going?
No, Zelda's still going there. Just eventually. It might be postponed briefly because Pokemon may be more important. We'll talk more about that in a week. Just give me a week. I need to catch up on some stuff. We got some holiday stuff to catch up on. We'll talk about Pokemon next week.
Is is the Stella Nova Resort now the official hotel of Theme ParkStop? Yes, obviously. It's the Alicia Stella Nova Resort.
Have you seen my name on Twitter? The first time I've ever changed my display name ever.
It is obviously named after her because they love her so much.
That can't be right. What area are you going to first when this place opens? Actually, a lot of people ask this. Where are we going to go first? When
Monsters, obviously. How could anyone think anything else from me? What about you?
I've been on the fence on whether or not I want to go to Monsters or Potter first. I'm leaning toward I think I will like the Potter ride more, but I'm now leaning toward I think I still want to do Monsters ride first because of the two different types of experiences. Mm-hmm. Like I think Potter's going to take longer to get in and like enjoy the queue and get on the ride and the line will be longer. I think Monsters might be an easier run in and get on this ride immediately, like instant gratification type thing.
Yep.
And also the fast-paced nature of the Monsters ride, it'd be a great way to start the day.
And also there's a bar inside of a windmill that's on fire.
Yeah, that too.
I'm just saying.
That too. But both of those rides I think are going to be, I like that they're new. They're not cloned or anything. They're just new experiences. And like, we haven't had one of those in a long time. where we have multiple new experiences at the same time to actually
Yeah.
choose from.
I think it's going to be amazing just to walk through the theming in that place anyway if they do it right. So
Oh,
I'm
I think they've
excited
done
for
it
just
right.
that. Yeah, I know, but I can't say what I don't know for sure. So
Which restaurants, dining locations are we most excited for?
the flaming windmill, obviously.
We don't know that much about the other one, and we haven't seen a trademark for the steakhouse yet.
No,
Still,
I'm interested in the steakhouse. I'm interested in some of the like. I don't know. I'd like to try all of the things, but I mean, I
it's a
think that
Gazelle song. Oh, oh,
I
oh,
know.
oh,
I think the
try
flaming windmill thing
everything.
is kind of cool. Like how many times you get to like chill out in the bottom part of a windmill that's on fire to
Those
eat.
gears better be turning inside.
I'm saying, like, it seems like a really cool place. So
It's going to be small too.
it is.
So
It's
it's
going
going
to
to
be
be more
cool.
intimate, small, like
I,
hangout.
but we tend to try all the things, so I'm kind of excited for the restaurants in
Oh, I
general.
should actually answer. A Toadstool Cafe. I'm going to
Oh
live
yeah,
there. This
I
is
know
my
you
new
are.
Minion Cafe. This is my new Pizza Rizzo. I'm never leaving.
No,
And with
I'm
the
very
way
excited for that.
if they do like the reservations like Hollywood does, I'm going to be making one in like the first thing in the morning, and then as soon as I get in, never leave. Like you can't kick me out. I'm just going to keep mobile ordering food.
I'll just make one for like 2 hours later in case they kick you out, and we can go back in.
And we can go back in. Okay, that works.
I am excited to try that too because we've seen all those pictures from like Nene and even Chris
Yeah,
over in Japan. So
they're the food is so cute, but also like just mediocre enough for me to love it. Like it's perfect. It's the right level of adorable and high quality mediocre food, and I'm here for it.
that's so accurate. You guys don't even know.
It's my Connections Cafe, Minion Cafe,
If you
Pizza
don't know,
Rizzo.
if you don't know and you have not eaten with Alicia, when she finds something in a restaurant, she sticks to it forever. Like
I've
that's her
never
hill to
not
die on.
ordered that salad. In
We've gone to the
Connections.
same Mexican place for like years, and she orders the same thing every time.
I can't help it if I always order the perfect meal the first time.
I don't know about that.
Why would I ever need to order something else if I know I got it right and I'm never gonna swerve? That's it.
I'm not gonna swear. What kind of animal would you want to ride on at the Constellation Carousel? What?
This is a little grouping of like personal questions here.
I know it's really personal.
I don't know. Does it have to be a constellation or can it be any animal?
Wait.
A platypus? Barry the platypus?
Wait. I'm forgetting a name. Hold on.
An animal name?
Oh, Ursa Major. Yeah. We can do that.
You just
Ursa
want to ride
Major.
on the Big Dipper?
Yeah, the Big Dipper. So the big bear. No. Ursa Major is the bear version of the big spoon.
Oh, it's an actual
Ursa
animal.
Major
Okay.
and Ursa Minor. So they're actual animals, but yes, it's the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So yes,
I like that.
Spoon bears.
Any news if there will be an upside down roller coaster in this park? Will it rival Velocicoaster? I was thinking about it. That's a good question because is Starfall Racers the only upside down coaster? I think
That's
it is.
the only one I can think of.
Yeah. And yes, it will rival Velocicoaster because this thing has airtime moments, like insane airtime moments.
And it races.
Well, that too.
Sort of.
Although there's that divider wall now between the two when they come. But it's only when they come at each other. Come at me, bro. I can't. There's a wall.
Spray paint that on the wall. Do you think the entrance and exits to the different lands will create traffic issues, or are they large enough?
I mean, they're bigger than Diagon Alley. And Diagon Alley seems to be okay. Although I wonder if it's because people don't know it's there and they just walk by.
Probably. Well, that also has two entrances too.
Kinda.
Sort of.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, there's the one over in the corner, but no one uses that but us.
But nobody does that.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be okay. It might be a little crazy in the first couple weeks, but I think like after the first like hour of the day, I think it'll be pretty spread out. So it's okay.
Well, I mean, Galaxy's Edge has that entry tunnel. I mean, those aren't going to be as big, but it still works okay.
Yeah, but especially if they do facial recognition after 6 or whatever, I can see some kind of bottlenecks. But again, it should be spread out after the first hour of the day, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah. I mean, there was a line all the way around the park at Islands when Hogsmeade opened. It's not going to be like that. Like if it does stick out and the lands reach capacity, they probably will do virtual return times like Hollywood did for Nintendo. So that way you're not like stuck out the portal waiting in line.
Thank you. I don't want to stand in the summer of Florida and be just waiting in line without any cover.
Any speculation on whether or how Orlando Informer will include Epic in their meetup events? This is the only way we visit Universal. Thank you, Mom Circus. I had not thought of that, and that is a great question. Because I love the meetup events, the Orlando
They're
Informer
so
meetups.
fun.
And I would assume that if they were to do ones at Epic Universe, which probably won't happen till a year after it's open, it might have to be its own separate like ticketed event night because they're not connected like the other parks. Like maybe you just buy one that's just for Epic because you can't spend an hour getting in your car and driving across to the other one.
No.
And wait on a 4-hour event.
Definitely not, unless they make the event longer, which would make no sense anyway. I agree. My first thought was it would be a separate night.
And maybe like the earlier Orlando Informer events, maybe they would do just renting out one land to start because they have like the meetups have grown over the years. Like it was originally just one. Originally, it was the Navigators Club. I was there that first time. It was just a small meeting and we all like just chilled. There was even an ice sculpture talking about chilling. And then like it became a land of a park. And then it became a whole park. And then it became both parks. So like maybe they'll start small and just do Super Nintendo World to start. And then they'll do a whole park. And it'll just be on a different night than the main ones. That's a guess.
Maybe I'll get rich and beat him to it. Probably not.
Are we moving on to questions from the website formerly known as Twitter?
The website? Yeah. We good? Yeah. This was like I checked this Friday morning. It was like 300 comments. Any ideas to the music that'll be playing in each land? Nintendo music?
Well, we know the music that plays in Super Nintendo World.
Yep.
Which Jen started playing the Super Mario 3D World last night for the first time ever. That's the one with the kitty Mario.
Yep.
And I think it's the one that the Super Nintendo World is kind of based on. And the intro music to the first like animatic or whatever was the land music for the land. And I ran into the room from the other room and I'm like, oh my God, I know this music, but I know it from Super Nintendo World. I don't know it from the game. So it's cool to see the game music in its natural habitat. Danny Elfman is scoring the Dark Universe land.
So perfect.
And the How to Train Your Dragon and Wizarding World are going to be reorchestrations or rearrangements of orchestrations from the movies. But Celestial Park, I don't have confirmation of, but I can assure you will have its own score.
Epcot, but better.
I was going to say we just explored the new center of World Celebration, and it had the new Epcot score, and it was really pretty. So, like,
it is.
Yeah, I'm hoping something like that. I'm hoping something like Islands of Adventure's Port of Entry music mixed,
but spacey.
Yeah, mixed with Epcot, like
spacey.
Optimistic, spacey, but like not Space Mountain cheesy spacey.
No, less Yanni, more good.
Anyway, okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think the Stella Nova and Terra Luna resort windows will just be standard windows, or is there some interesting tech hiding here?
Is tint interesting?
I was going to say it's blue tint, I think. It's a little reflective. I think that's so that the lighting on the buildings don't blind you when you're sleeping. I don't think they're not space portholes like Galaxy's Edge, whatever. Galactic Star Cruiser. I think it's just a bad superimposition job on the concept art, like where it looks starry outside, it looks like the sky from E.T. out the window. I think it's just
trying to sell it. They're just trying to sell it.
I think it's just tinted windows, so you don't see the light blaring on the building because they're going to light up those buildings at night to be sparkly.
Theme park designer kayfabe, just trying to sell it. Do you think we will be able to hang out in the Ministry of Magic building, a la Warner Brothers World Abu Dhabi, or is it just pre-show line, queue, and ride? The second part?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just queue. It's exactly the same as Forbidden Journey and Gringotts, where you really get the feeling that you're on a tour through a walkthrough that is as good as an attraction on its own, and then you go on a ride. I don't think it's explorable unless you're in line for the ride. But like Jen does with Velocicoaster, you can probably wait in the line and then do the child swap room and leave without having to ride if you don't want to ride. If you're going to get motion sick or whatever on the ride, you might as well still enjoy this queue because it's going to be impressive.
I wonder if you could do a tour of just the queue.
Yeah,
like
well, I think Forbidden Journey, like the castle tour. But even if there's no one there to give you a tour, just wait in line and then back out at the chicken exit. You're fine.
you're up.
I don't think we call that chicken exit anymore. I usually just tell people go ask for the family room at the end and then just leave.
Just bail. Bye.
Yeah, family room and then leave. Will there be enough places to get beer in the park?
That's
Coasters
what
and
I'm
Brews
talking
ask.
about.
I was talking to someone about it and I was like, wow, there's a lot more bars in Celestial Park than I realized. And two of the best outdoor bars are on either side of the big show fountain. So they know their audience. They're
But you
like,
and I were talking about how shocked we were about bars, but I don't know if that was me that you're talking about. But we
well,
did
no,
discuss that.
we are always talking about bars, but there's a bar on the left side. There's a bar on the left side of the fountain that it's just started construction. I didn't even realize was there because I've been looking at the one on the right side of the fountain, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of bars.
And there's a bar right there on top of the hotel too. So there's 3 right there for you to watch the fountains from.
And there's also bars in all the sit-down restaurants. Any
And
update on the tiki bar they're building is also related to this. Celis Tiki. Did I say it right that time?
yeah, Celestine. Yeah. Celestiki.
That's the one it's right across from the portal to Dark Universe, I think. So you can go to the Celestial Tiki Bar after enjoying the Monsters ride and before your fountain show.
So do your ride in Monsters Land. Do your rides in Monsterland. Go get a beer and a pretzel in the windmill, and then come out and drink some more in the tiki bar.
Right. And then walk around the bottom of the fountain and go drink some more at the other bar outside.
And then when you're really drunk, go up on the rooftop bar.
The views would be great if you could see.
When Animal Kingdom opened, we saw some cannibalization for some of the other parks at Walt Disney World. Any concern from Comcast Uni that Epic Universe might cannibalize IOA and or Studio Park? Ooh, that's from Orange Grove. Nice.
Yeah, I put this here because I think we're going to see something added to Universal Studios Florida sooner than we were planning. And probably as a part of that calculation is this very reason, because Islands of Adventure has added Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, and will maybe be adding Zelda in the near future. So like it's time for, like, no offense to the new additions to studios, like, because they did get Bourne, which I love. They got Fallon, which exists. They got Fast and Furious, which shouldn't, and they just got Minion Blast, which is like, a lateral move for a kids thing to be another kids thing, and then Kids Zone from kids things to be other kids things. But we need like a big draw there.
Yeah, we can replace Rip Ride Rocket. I'm fine with that.
Oh God, I forgot that still exists.
Yep. See,
I mean, I love it.
No, I do love the Fallon safety spiel. It's the best one in all of the parks because it's the roots. But still,
I don't mind that ride. I just wish it had somewhat of a better theme. We know so much about Epic Universe for many reasons, including your coverage and Bio Reconstructs photos. What are the biggest pieces still left out that could surprise us?
I mean, we just talked about a bar we weren't expecting, so that was pretty surprising for me.
I think there's a lot of Celestial Park stuff that we still don't know about.
Yeah. And I think actually seeing the theming when we're actually walking into some of these lands is going to be a little bit more surprising than anything we know about right now.
Yeah, the grandeur of this is not captured from the sky at all. Not everything's zoomed in. It's hard to tell how big things really are.
I think it's going to be pretty cool to walk in.
There's also interactive experiences we have no idea about outside of Nintendo. There's street entertainment. There's a little like outdoor theater across from Oaken Star Tavern that I've never mentioned before, just because they haven't started building it yet. I'm like waiting for a bio picture to show and then be like, new construction has started on a small amphitheater outside of the fountain display. And everyone will be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm just waiting for it to be built. But it's there. There's no reason to talk about it yet. So like, there's still stuff we're going to be surprised about constantly.
Obviously, like the pitchforks and torches from Monsters Land that are going to be interactive.
I stab you. I stab you with my pitchfork. I stab you real bad.
We riot at dawn. I don't know. Predict the quote over each portal for each of the 4 lands.
Sure. I'm using air quotes. I'm going to predict them.
I don't like the monsters one you're going to predict.
So yeah, there's an engraved quote above each of the entry portals. And some of them have drawings, I think, or icons. And they have different colors. We saw the first one being installed at Dragons, but they still haven't installed the engraved plate as of the last pictures. Although Bio is taking a flight right now, so we might see some more. I know all of the beacons were installed, so we're going to see the beacons on top of the portals. I think Potter has the best one. Although, no, you know what? Nintendo has the best one.
Probably Nintendo.
Nintendo's engraving is rumored to be "Here we go." Thank you. That's my best impression of Mario.
It's great. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Monsters is currently rumored to be the air itself is filled with monsters.
It's so weak.
What is it from? It's got to be from something. It's got to be
It's
from like a novel or something.
I can't remember what it's from. I believe it is from something, but I can't remember. It feels like it's
novelty. The original one was going to be, and this is back when it was all Frankenstein, I think. The original one was going to be "Give my creation life." Because there's like electricity on the top of the portal, so like it would have fit. But
yeah.
I think they want to include the word monsters on there because it's the Dark Universe land. This way, when you're going in, you're like, oh, it's got monsters in it.
I'm trying to remember where that quote's from now.
Well, clearly it's from War of the Worlds because there's germs in the air and they act as, never mind. Dragons is rumored to be something like, "We, my friends, have dragons." It really should just be "Welcome to Burke."
It should just be "Welcome to Burke."
Welcome to Burke, home of the dragons. I thought. Remember what was our original Frankenstein was? "Welcome to Frankenstein Village, home of the monster."
Exactly.
That was perfect. Why doesn't it think they should do that? "We, my friends, have dragons" is rumored to be dragons. If we get a good picture of the engraved front from Bio, then maybe we'll be able to confirm that or not. I do believe, though, the Wizarding World one, and this is the best one, is "For in dreams, we enter a world that is entirely our own."
Oh, that's cool.
The Dumbledore quote.
I think the monsters is from Bride.
Oh.
I think. It's still not something I think is cool, but I mean, it's not terrible.
It's got the word monsters. Potter like can get away with a quote because all the Potterheads will know exactly what it is. But like the other ones, like "Here we go." Like we get that. Like everyone knows Mario says, "Here we go." But like dragons and monsters, I guess they want to incorporate that word. Which area will have the best bathroom?
Oh, that's actually kind of funny.
I like
potentially dragons or Nintendo if they're themed to things.
The Nintendo bathrooms in Japan look pretty awesome. It's hard to find pictures because no one takes pictures. I think maybe Hollywood I've seen a picture. I've seen a picture somewhere, and I think it has the underwater fishies on the wall. I could be wrong. And it plays the underwater music too. So maybe that. I have a weird answer. I feel like there's these 2 single stall unisex bathrooms over by the second coaster launch at Dragons for the kids' play area.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say those because I like the little private bathrooms. So I'm going to go with that.
That works for me.
It's well themed already on the outside. So.
The next one is, will there be parking lot trams?
I don't think so.
Walking it in.
There was a plan to have a moving walkway down the center of the 2 parking lots. So you would walk to where essentially a tram would be at Epcot or whatever, and it'd just be a moving walkway with a covering over it. And as far as I can tell, all of the permits and plans do not have that. They still have the sidewalk in the middle, but without the moving sidewalk and without the awnings. Oh God, they better at least build the awnings.
Oh yeah, please.
So at least we don't have to walk just down a sidewalk. But as far as I can tell, there are no trams. But we'll see. You know, maybe I could be wrong.
I mean, it kind of looked like they could have trams from the early. I remember the early parking lot stuff we looked at. It could, but I think we're walking.
I think we're walking. I think the earliest stuff we looked at, I thought was a tram line. It was actually the moving walkway, and that's been cut. So
we're walking.
I think later they can build parking garages, and because of that, they're like, why are we going to bother with building a moving sidewalk and upkeeping it if we're just going to tear it up in 7 years anyway? I think that's the logic.
Probably. That makes sense. The first part of that quote is better than the one they used for monsters, by the way. I looked it up out of curiosity.
Yeah.
It starts with, "It's a perfect night for mystery and horror." I think that works better.
Oh, I do like that.
And then it says, "A perfect night for mystery and horror. The air itself is filled with monsters." I like the first part better.
Yeah, but the first part might be too scary for children. They're really trying to
Monsters Land. It has monsters in the name.
Kids love monsters, but they don't like horror. So that's the problem with that word.
I did.
Like Universal has branded horror as adult and monsters as children friendly.
I liked horror as a kid.
You know, Sesame Street has monsters. Monsters are kid friendly.
It's a better quote. Is it my turn?
Altogether, it's a very good quote. Yes.
It is.
What is it from?
It's from Bride.
Okay, good job.
Yay.
Doing all my research for me.
Did I do the trams?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Potter ride and the Monsters ride from what we know about them so far? And do you feel like they are going to stick out from what Universal has done before? Yes.
Yes. They seem cool. I'm excited for both of these.
They both have at least one unique aspect, well, two unique aspects each that's going to make them stand out. Like you could say the Monsters ride is just like Forbidden Journey. It's got the same ride system. But imagine if you mix together the screen parts and the live action parts of Forbidden Journey so they're fluidly happening simultaneously. And that's what Monsters is. So they've found a way to better integrate those technologies. And then the Potter one, you could say it's just like a modified version of the Spider-Man vehicle, but it's more like mixing together the Spider-Man vehicle and Up and Down and technology from Gringotts and new animatronics that have never been seen before. So it's kind of its own thing.
And sort of looks like Tower of Terror.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not.
It's not. It's not. But it sort of looks like it. But it's not.
We will be talking more about it after we're done recording here. We're going to do a full spoilers on the two dark rides with as much as we know right now. Let's just say both rides are going to be impressive.
Monsters. Wait, Patreon?
Yeah, it's on the Patreon show. Is mine next?
No, mine's next. Can you just read? Yeah. Based on what you know, what ride and land do you think will be the crowd favorite? And why is it Monsters Unchained in Dark Universe? Because it's monsters. Of course.
I'm thinking the Potter ride is going to edge out Monsters on crowd favorite because of some impressive tricks. Even though I think Monsters is doing something that I respect more.
Yeah.
Like with the integration of the physical stuff. But yeah, I think Super Nintendo World will be the crowd favorite. Like,
oh, for sure.
You can't undo Nintendo's like fame and power. But the Potter ride is going to be probably the breakout star. Is like, wow, that was really impressive. That was like Rise of Resistance impressive.
I do think that using HHN to kind of like boost the monsters the last couple of years and making those houses really good is awesome that they're doing that to kind of get people a little more familiar if they're not with the monsters. They don't watch the old movies. I think that's really cool. But
I feel like the Monsters land is the locals land. The Nintendo is the tourist land. The Potter is the impressive land, and dragons exist.
That's the kids' land. That's fun. I'm excited for dragons too. I'm excited for all these lands.
You know what? Dragons is the vibes land. I'm going to call it that.
Totally.
I'm just going to go in there and hang out for the vibes.
I mean, I am super stoked for Monsters because they're getting some respect, but I'm actually excited for all of the lands. So,
well, they're doing it up to the nines. Like
yes,
they're not. Yeah. Will the Ministry of Magic finally be that suspended ride system? No.
Nope.
No. It's more like a supersized scoop vehicle. It's instead of suspended going up and down, it's up and down from below. The giant star Tour's arms. It's a motion base that can go up and down, but it's controlled from the bottom.
Incredibly intrigued by Potter ride system and projection mapped animatronics. Anything you can share?
We'll share. Sorry, we'll share more on the Patreon episode coming up right after this. But I will share that anyone who has claimed to see these animatronics in person has said any qualms or questions I had about this effect working has gone away. This is the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's awesome. I'm excited now. I was nervous. I was a little paused for concern, but I'm excited now.
It sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about the waterfalls in the hub, and will there be lots of trees or will it be more of a concrete jungle? Hey, they don't call it Celestial Park for nothing.
So concrete jungle with a few awnings like Epcot used to be. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
It's a park.
I'm kidding.
Well, it's no longer Celestial Gardens. So I'm thinking more trees and less flowers.
Yeah, probably. Which I'm fine with.
It's a city park. It's a central park. It's a central park in the center of the hub. It's a celestial park. They sound the same. It's a central celestial park.
Just run for the bar when you get too hot. It's fine.
You know what I found out recently?
Hmm.
All of the lagoons and water features have their own names.
That's awesome.
They have celestial names.
So it's star water,
Hold on.
space water.
I have to lean over to my map. I wrote them down. Neptune, Aquarius, Orion, and then the Oculus is the fountain display. So like
Oh, that's cool.
starting at Atlantic, it's Neptune. Neptune's right in front of Atlantic, the seafood restaurant. That makes sense.
That makes total sense.
Then Aquarius, and then Orion is like a belt all the way around the constellation carousel. That's how I'll remember. And then there's that splash pad, the Astronomica. I think I said it right the first time. Look at that.
You did.
And then the Oculus is the fountain display. So it's neat to know all the water features have their own name. Oh,
that's cool.
The waterfalls are named the Chaos.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and that's the headwaters for all of the water features.
That's awesome. I like that.
How and where do you think drones could be utilized around Epic Universe? We mentioned it earlier. I think flying dragons over the How to Train Your Dragon Land is the only one I could confirm as happening. And I hope that was so early in like planning that like, I hope it's not like Disney where they plan something really cool and then don't do it, or they only do it for the media event. Because that could be really impressive. As Mark Woodbury called it, robotic drone technology. But I do think that like the bottom right corner of the land could launch these dragons who fly around the perimeter so you can see them from like the center of the land. But they won't have to endanger guest areas by flying over guests. Like they have that land set up in such a way that they have a lot of room for flying and it be visible.
Yes, please.
It would probably be visible from the parking lot. Like imagine that'll give us something to do while we're walking from our car. Just see all these flying dragons over. Yeah, dragon spotting.
Any idea of the type of cuisine? Yeah, if I could talk. Type of cuisine we could see at Atlantic and the Blue Dragon.
I'm assuming from all the fish hanging from the ceiling at Atlantic that it's a seafood restaurant.
Well, are you sure?
Named after the Atlantic Ocean in the Neptune Sea. I'm gonna guess
they serve chicken.
The chicken of the sea. And then Blue Dragon, formerly named Yin Yang in older plans, has like Chinese lanterns flying in the sky of its outdoor for indoor design. Like it looks like you're outside when you're inside. So I'm gonna guess that's some kind of Asian cuisine. Like Chinese
maybe
food.
Maybe fusion.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I hope so. I like that.
I just know the ambiance in there is going to be amazing. And
so
I think Atlantic's the most expensive restaurant in the park, but Blue Dragon's probably second.
Good thing it's seafood. I don't like seafood. I don't have to pay that price then.
The biggest changes from pitch to opening. The Monsters Theater show has become a roller coaster.
All the Monsters Lands has basically flipped for the most part.
Whoa, from the pitch. Yeah, we have to go back pretty far.
So from Dracula's castle to Frankenstein's mansion.
If we go all the way to the pitch, the Celestial Gardens in the original concept was double-decker and had a boat canal system on the lower level that traveled beneath all of the lands and took you from one place to another. And the whole park was a giant circle, and each of the lands were like their own mini theme park, and there was a hotel at the back of every land. That was the original pitch.
So cool.
It's very different from that. So now we have a hotel at the back of the main park, and we have definitely no double-decker gardens. And a boat ride that connects all of them. But cool, surprisingly, the properties have remained the same through almost all of the development. It was always called Dark Universe. It was always called Super Nintendo World. It was always Wizarding World. I think maybe they considered doing a DreamWorks Land before changing to How to Train Your Dragon, but that was still 2017. It was How to Train Your Dragon. So it's been kind of the same. They just since then, switched out two rides. The VR ride got canceled and the theater became a coaster.
And Monsters flipped from Dracula to Frankenstein.
Yeah, that went through some changes, but it's technically always been the Dark Universe.
Yeah, of course. That and Potter is probably the biggest changes in the actual lands, though, right? Because Potter was Fantastic Beasts with France and all that, and that's kind of flipped on its head for
Potter
some of
was
that.
Designed as a giant singular building at first, and then they realized the AC bill was going to be too high, and they split it into multiple buildings. But the actual content has been the same since 2018. So, and even back then, the Great Hall restaurant was actually planned to open with this park. They held it for later. That's something we
Mhm.
don't.
I
I don't
remember
think we
seeing
mentioned
that.
that. We didn't talk about that on the public show yet. That was on Patreon. But like, yeah, the
Mhm.
Great Hall. It's not. It's not that it was like a last minute addition. It was just going to be on the left side of the land instead of where they're building it now.
Oh, so cool. Are you concerned about ride capacity? Always. Never.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'll have to. I think that's why Luigi's Mansion is going to be like fast tracked. I think we need
Yeah.
more Nintendo capacity, even with the Donkey Kong coaster.
Capacity is always a concern.
A lot of people, I tacked this on at the end because I realized a lot of people did ask about ride accessibility. And I think the answer is they will be pretty much the same type of accessibility as the existing Universal Orlando parks, or this,
Mhm.
or the same as Hollywood, like what we're used to seeing, for better or worse. So Monsters will be the same as Forbidden Journey, but maybe allow slightly taller people because it doesn't have the hood at the top. Ministry should be the same seating as Spider-Man. Mario Kart is kind of like Men in Black, sorta. The roller coasters are going to roller coasters whatever down.
I mean, Velocicoaster's pretty forgiving. They did a pretty good job with that.
This Starfall Racers is very similar seating arrangement to Velocicoaster, so it is more on the accessible side as far as coasters go.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how forgiving that coaster is.
Yeah, I've never
It's
had an
pretty
issue
awesome.
on that, and I've had issues on Hagrid. I've had issues on Gringotts, like especially the front row.
I have issues on Forbidden Journey because I barely fit in the cubby. My shoulders and my arms always get pinned. That's my biggest problem.
The kids boat ride in Dragons actually allows anyone. I think if it's the one we think it is, you literally can stand. It allows wheelchairs. It's like there is no seating arrangement to like discount anyone. The Yoshi ride is similar to Seuss Trolley. And the carousel has normal carousel seating just like Seuss, but it also has the
The
gondolas.
benches.
Yeah, so that's very accessible for anyone. But it also has, because the carousel for Epic Universe has spinning circles in the circle that spins. So it's
Mhm.
like a dual carousel, but they have patented seats that are like normal carousel seats outside of the spinning circles. So if you get too dizzy, you can sit on the normal carousel seats in between
That's
the
cool.
circles. And I think that's really neat for accessibility as far as dizziness and motion sickness goes.
That's cool. Jen will be happy.
Yeah, exactly. I'll ride on the swirly ones. She can ride on the normal ones.
Which EU rides are expected to utilize lockers? Monsters and Starfall? Potter?
I don't think Potter needs it because it's like a Spider-Man
Yeah.
seating. Monsters needs it because it's the Forbidden Journey style
Yep.
Kuka. And Starfall needs it because it goes upside down. So those are the only two, unless I'm forgetting something, those are the only two in the plans we've seen lockers. And both of them have double-sided lockers as far as I can tell.
Perfect. You're up. We're almost done.
Is there enough land in Epic Universe parcel for a second gate?
Yes.
Technically, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Will they ever build one? We don't know. We don't know. It really depends on how if this opens and no one goes, these expansions like Volcano Bay, they might just be like, we don't need them. And these and the second park or City Walk or whatever, they're like, we don't need it. I already think the City Walk thing might never happen.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, that'd be more room for a second gate.
Bring on the second gate or another City Walk, please.
They still have to fill the giant expansion plot, at least the one on the right, before they go building another theme park. So once we get Lord of the Rings in 15 years, then maybe they'll think about building another theme park.
Jar. What will you do with the life after Epic opens? It's been a part of ParkStop for so long that I genuinely forget what a world without Epic updates feels like. Oh my gosh.
Already
so accurate.
We're already talking about Universal Horror Unleashed and Universal Kids Resort. And those are the first of like several of those types of things around the country. So we'll have those to talk about. But also, if my plans had gone to plan this week, we might have talked about Universal building a theme park in the UK. So,
shh, that's a secret.
If anyone has watched that video, you may notice the style of it is somewhat similar to something you've seen before. And it might be intentional. So,
what are you talking about?
As I said in that video, Universal might always be building a new theme park at any given time. So there will always be something new to talk about.
Building is universal.
Anyway, we're going to continue this conversation on over at Patreon, patreon.com/themeparkstop. You can join and support us and support the work that we do for as little as $1 a month, but also get these bonus episodes where we definitely don't go off the rails and drink more whiskey.
Oh, more whiskey. Yes, please.
That's where we explore, unconfirmed rumors and talk a little bit more in detail and more nerdy than we normally do here.
And
but
more relaxed, too. She doesn't edit me as much.
I don't know if that's relaxed or just laziness at this point, but...
It doesn't matter. I get edited much less over there.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, though. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and thank you all for your questions. I think we did pretty good.
We did pretty good.
And in January, when they announced all of the official names for all the lands, I want you all to act surprised.
Yeah, you don't know anything. This has all been a private conversation between a few thousand of us.
You ain't heard nothing. This didn't happen.
Oh, man.
I stab you with my pitchfork.
I need more whiskey now. We're going to talk some more. We'll see you guys over at Patreon show.
Bye.
Bye.